Okay, start off on hand wrapping. For wrapping your hands, Muay Thai, you're going to start with your hand wrap. You're going to see that there's stitching on one side. You're going to see where they fold it over and put the stitching. You're going to want that to go on the back of your hand. So you start with that little loop. You put your thumb through that little loop and you make sure that the stitching is flat down on your hand. From there, you're going to go around your knuckles 3 times. So you start from your thumb, go over to your little pinky knuckle, and then start going around the knuckles here 3 times. But when you do it, make sure your hand is in a 5, or the fingers are spread apart really well. If you don't have your fingers spread apart really well, when you get to here and you get done wrapping your hands, your hand is going to go numb. So make sure that this is spread apart wide, and then let's go around your knuckles here 3 times. And when you go around the knuckles, make sure kind of the middle of your hand wrap is going on the top of your knuckle, the third and last knuckle that you have here on your hands. Okay, so we're going to go around that 3 times. Once we go around that 3 times, you're going to go ahead and pull this down over towards your wrist and go around your wrist 3 times from there. So go around once, there's twice, there's 3 times. Now from here, you're going to go underneath, or take it from the top side and go down, come back underneath the hand and go up and over your thumb on this side. Once you go up and over, you're going to bring it back down underneath your hand and then back up on the other side. And when you come back up on the top of your hand, you're going to come back up top here, and then you're going to go over your thumb on this other side. Once we do that, what's going to happen is going to close off that little gap that's right in there. So we close that all off. Once I get that done, I go around my wrist again one more time just to kind of secure that. Now from here then, I start to now think about going from my thumb side to the pinky. So I'm going to go from here to my pinky finger and go inside my pinky finger. From there, I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip this over towards the top of my first finger knuckle here. I'm going to secure this off by going over my knuckle 1 time here. Go over my knuckle 1 time here, then come back underneath your hand. Come back underneath your hand here, go back up to the wrist where the thumb is, and go to the next finger. Once I go to the next finger, again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come over to the knuckle right here, that first knuckle, and I'm going to take this, flatten it out a little bit, and close it off on the knuckle, or on the top of my knuckles again. Same thing. Once I close it off, I'm going to go over towards underneath my wrist here. Still keeping my fingers spread apart. I'm going to come over to my first pointer finger and go underneath that. And then again, I'm going to wrap it underneath and go over my knuckles. Now, when I go over my knuckles this time, because it's my last finger, I'm going to go around those a couple times here. So I'm going to go around that a couple times. Then I'm going to come back down and I'm going to go around my wrist just to secure that. Now you're going to see you're probably going to have quite a bit of hand wrap left. If you do, you can kind of come up and kind of crisscross your hand a little bit. So crisscross here, and then what I'll do is I'll go back down and then just finish off on the wrist itself. Go maybe down just a little bit, but I don't go down very far on the hand. I want to finish off on the wrist to make sure the wrist is secured, so that way when I punch, I don't injure my wrist in there. So once I do that, I Velcro it off. Then what you want to do is come in here, grab all of this inside here. So you're going to see all this here inside of your hand. Inside of here, you're going to grab this and make kind of a grip, little grip for your fingers to go into, and move all that so you can grip your actual hand wrap itself. And then you can make your fist fairly well from here. You don't have too much finger showing on that. And then what you'll want is this here part to be covered, your third knuckles right here to be covered, and make sure your fist is you can grab your hand and grab inside there, so this way it makes a good fist, and then your thumb. Once you're done with this side, then you're going to go ahead and wrap your other hand. So I'm going to get my other wrap and I'm going to wrap my other hand. So once you have your other wrap, you just go ahead and make sure you rolled it all the way out. Again, you're going to grab the little thumb part, a little loop for your thumb. Again, the stitching on this side needs to be down, so you're going to put that over your thumb and put the stitching down. So the stitching is on the flat side of your hand. From there, again, you're going to go ahead and go around your knuckles 3 times. Again, spread your fingers again wide, like you're showing a big 5. Okay, going around your knuckles here 3 times. Once you get around your knuckles 3 times and everything's flat, then you go down and go around the wrist 3 times. I've secured against my body, making sure that it's snug and firm. You don't want it too tight so your fingers go numb, but you don't want it loose either. So make sure around your wrist it's firm. Then once you're there, again, go down underneath your hand, come up and underneath and over your thumb. Once you go over your thumb, you're going to go over the top of your thumb and go back around your hand. come back on top, okay? Go on top of your hand from here, go down and over your thumb this way, so this way now you can wrap off your thumb and then secure off that little area that was shown from that point. Once you go there, I then secure it around my wrist one time. From that point on, I'm at the thumb area again. From the thumb area, I'm going to go ahead and start off on my pinky finger. So on my pinky finger, I go inside, then I come over to the first knuckle, so I can go back over my third knuckles and secure this off. So I try to flatten out my hand wrap so it's not a big mess when I'm done. And so there, once you do that, go back over your wrist again. Next knuckle, again, secure it off and wrap it around the knuckles again here. Then back over and over through the finger, the first finger knuckle. Secure this off, flatten it out, come back around, tight, secure it off, and then I go around my knuckles at least once here, once or twice here. And I go back over around the wrist, making sure that I secure it off around the wrist a couple times. Then if I have enough length, I will crisscross this a little bit. Come back over, and then secure the rest off at your wrist. Securing the rest of this off at your wrist. If it didn't come out the right way, then you just give it a little twist so that way your Velcro can Velcro. Okay, once you're done again, grab inside there, try to grab this and get the grip on there, so you get a little grip for your hand to grip onto, and there you have your hands wrapped and ready to go, making sure that those third knuckles are wrapped, your wrist is firm, that it's not just a bunch of play on your wrist. So if you have too much play on your wrist, or if it's too loose down here by your wrist, then you're gonna, when you punch, if things aren't correct, then what's gonna happen when your wrist isn't lined up, it's gonna injure your wrist from there. All right, so making sure this is done. So before you come to class, each class, have your hands wrapped as quickly as possible, and then get ready for class.